After a doubleheader sweep over the Woodstock River Bandits and a Harrisonburg Turk loss, the Charlottesville Tom Sox enter today in first place in the VBL, and today marks the final home game of the regular season as the Tom Sox are set to square off against the Front Royal Cardinals. Hello and welcome to Tom Sox TV. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Jacob Tisdale, and yesterday, Jake, the offense came out in full force.
Yeah, we saw 20 runs scored across 14 innings in that doubleheader sweep that you mentioned. And, you know, standout contributors were both Henry Ford and Brady Gumpf, who had 2 3-run home runs in these deep-walled outfield of CHO Airport Field. And so we're looking to continue a lot of that offensive momentum. And the Tom Sox, they're being stretched thin with this now being their 5th game in just 3 days. So with Zach Mack on the mound, we're looking for some longevity, save his bullpen some trouble here, and keep on chugging down the final stretch, like you said, last home game.
You mentioned Zach Mack getting the start today, and he will face off against the leadoff hitter, Nicholas Capozzi. The first pitch is inside for ball number 1.
89 degrees here on a sunny afternoon in CHO Airport Field.
The 1-0 on its way from Mack. That one downstairs for ball number 2. It's the second start on the season for Mack. He is 1-0, pitching with a 3.18 ERA. The 2-0 offering, this one fouled and bounces off of the catcher, Calvin Alexander.
Yeah, KJ not afraid to get back there and block some up. Obviously, that one, not something he's trying to wear off the face there. I'm just going to give him some time to regain his composure. KJ, one of 3, now 3 catchers on a rotating kind of position wheel back there behind the plate as they try and give each other breaks. Coach Lyndon Coleman tries to keep everyone in the fold and engaged offensively and defensively here.
Alexander getting the start after Salvi Alvarez and Jacob Ferentz caught both of the games in the doubleheader yesterday as Mack's 2-1 offering once again misses downstairs and Capozzi works the count to 3-1. Mack out of the windup, the 3-1. This one popped up, out into center field. Garrett Spikes gets underneath it and puts it away for the first out of the ballgame.
Quick first out for the Charlottesville Tom Sox here with Zach Mack. What's going to be important for Mack, like I mentioned, the longevity here. He's in an opening role. It's his second start, but he really hasn't racked up a ton of innings. He's sitting at 5 2/3 right now. In those 5 2/3, he's got 9 strikeouts with 4 walks and just giving up 2 hits. So we'll see how long his leash is today as Lyndon Coleman works through this just brutal schedule, honestly, just packing in games, trying to fit them in as the playoffs loom here.
It's the second baseman, Hayden Harris, who fouls the first pitch off from Mack. The 0-1 offering, this one fouled down the first base line.
Yeah, in contrast to the first at-bat here, Zach's in the driver's seat, up 0-2 here, ready to throw his pitch, see if he can get a swing at something maybe outside, down. KJ sets up a little outside.
The 0-2 to Harris. That one misses high for ball number 1. Taking a look at the Tom Sox defense, Calvin Alexander, the catcher, Henry Ford at first base, Bryce Martinez at second, Kyle Edwards at short, Connor Hinks at third, Brady Gumpf in left, Garrett Spikes in center, and Nathan Fink is in right field as this one grounded toward the third baseman. Connor Hinks, he makes the play and retires Harris for out number 2.
Hinks able to smoothly glove that one, playing third base. He's been all over, played short last night. As Gianni Maltese would refer to him, the Swiss Army knife. He's been all over. He plays each position with absolute poise. I particularly like to see him at third. I think he makes excellent throws from over there. So always a pleasure to watch him cook on defense.
Now it's the 3-hole hitter, Cameron Douglas. Douglas DHing today. Sitting 268. This is his 20th game on the season, 1 home run, 8 RBIs. 1-0 offering from Mack. This one misses for ball number 2.
Tough to see where that one missed. Maybe just a bit outside there.
The 2-0 to Douglas. This one fouled straight back into the fence behind home plate.
Mack taking his time getting back to the mound.
Just two relievers used in the doubleheader yesterday. Lucas Cash, Jordani Carmona as Max breaking ball. Doesn't get Douglas to bite in the count, moves to 3-1.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's going to be we'll see what Coach Lyndon Coleman's strategy is. We're in a little bit of uncharted territory here in terms of our bullpen, but they're looking to get the most they can out of everyone here in this final stretch, and that starts with Mac on the mound here. Working a 1-2-3 inning here would be a major contributor to that strategy if that's the route they're willing to go.
The 2-2 to Douglas missed high brings up a full count here with 2 outs in the top of the first. The 3-2 offering gets him fishing here as Calvin Alexander places a tag on him, and Zach Mack works a 1-2-3 top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first inning with Kyle Edwards, Bryce Martinez, and Aiden Teal set to lead things off. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV. After 1-2-3, top of the first, it's the shortstop, Kyle Edwards, leading things off in the bottom half of the inning, facing off against the lefty, Gabriel Moore. Jake, what do you have for me on the front Royal starter?
Yeah, he's got limited sample size under his belt. Between these two starters, it's interesting. There's just 10 combined innings. With Moore, he's accounting for 4 1/3 of those. 4 appearances, got a 16.61 ERA standing out on his page right now. 6 strikeouts, 9 walks, and 6 hits in those 4 innings. His last outing was a scoreless frame against the Newmarket Rebels, however.
First pitch from Moore to Edwards missed outside. The 1-0 offering, that one right down Main Street, evening the count at 1-1. Kyle, this is his 36th game played this season, hitting .274, 3 home runs, 19 RBIs. The 1-1 pitch to him, that one bounces in the dirt, gloved by the catcher Robert Mosley. Moore out of the stretch, the 2-1 pitch to Edwards. This one rocketed it right to the left fielder, Samuel Barber, for allowed out number 1.
Yeah, he laced that one. Probably felt good off the bat. Unfortunately, just the placement of it wasn't there for him. But, yeah, expect these Tom Sox to come out having aggressive offensive approach early. They're known to do such a thing.
Charlottesville put up 20 runs yesterday in the doubleheader, powered by a couple of home runs. Brady Gump, Henry Ford leaving the yard. but they got contributions up and down the lineup, and now it's the second baseman, Bryce Martinez, who was off for game one of the doubleheader played in the second game, was held hitless as he drops down a bunt. This one goes foul down the third base line.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, the Tom Sox aggression, that can come in a number of forms. Lyndon Coleman loves the small ball approach, manufactures his own success sometimes, and we'll expect to see that here. Another key offensive contributor from yesterday's 2 victories, not in the lineup tonight. Sergio Rivera dropped down a couple of bunts, drew some walks at some key points. It wasn't all the home run power that we saw powering us to victory.
Yeah, one from Moore to Martinez. That one runs too far and tight for ball number 1. No Sergio Rivera, as Jake mentioned. Nathan Fink getting the start out in right field. He didn't play in either games yesterday, as the next offering from Moore to Martinez missed just off the plate.
Yeah, and with no Rivera in the lineup, that does not rule out a later appearance by him, either by way of pinch hitting or pinch running, as he is a menace on the base paths.
The 2-1 of Martinez, that one hit into the right center field gap, played by the center fielder Nicholas Capozzi. That one gets behind him as Martinez moves up an extra 90 feet as he slides safely into second base, and Bryce Martinez in scoring position with just 1 out.
Yeah, heads up play by Martinez to continue to take everything that the defense is going to get him. Got to shout out first base coach over there, giving him the nod to go ahead. Saw a bobble on the transfer or pickup out there in right center field, and Martinez able to capitalize.
It's Trey Smith coaching first base, seeing a couple of the players get out there. Dave Utagawa doing it, Mark Perkins. See a couple of guys, but now it's the left-handed hitting DH, Aiden Teal, as Teal uncorks one to deep right field. Giving it a look is the right fielder, Brody Black, and that ball is absolutely demolished as Aiden Teal leaves the yard with a 2-run shot as the Charlottesville Tom Sox take an early 2-0 lead.
His second home run of the season, an absolute no-doubter right off the bat. Martinez was stealing third, but that didn't even matter once Teal uncorked on that one. Absolutely demolished out to right field. And, you know, Charlottesville just can't get enough of these Teal bombs. It's been going all summer long, dating back to spring with his brother Kyle for Virginia.
It's Aiden Teal's second home run this season, and Charlottesville's been leaving the yard a lot in these last few home games. Henry Ford, Brady Gumpf, and now Aiden Teal with home runs in the last 3 games. And Nathan Fink, first pitch swing. He'll flare this one down the first base line, but just foul as the right fielder Brody Black gave it a look. But power showing off for Charlottesville late in the season.
So far, each batter has made strong contact here off of Moore. He's definitely going to want to tighten up his pitch selection, rhythm, placement, do something to throw these hitters off their groove right now.
Nathan Fink hitting .304 this season as the 0-1 pitch from Moore missed off the plate. The 1-1 to Fink. Misses for ball 2.
Been a couple of those where we're just waiting on the umpire's word there, trying to catch these calls. We appreciate all the Valley Baseball League umpires coming out spending their time, especially with an unorthodox start time here at 1 p.m. today at CHO Airport Field.
The 2-1 as Moore blows it past Fink. The count is even at 2-2.
Yeah, great placement there by Moore. Fink was ready to go up there and meet it, took an absolute hack. Unable to connect there, unfortunately.
Moore out of the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. This one grounded through into left field as Nathan Fink is on with a 1-out single, and the bats have come out hot for the Sox.
Yeah, this offense is absolutely humming right now, firing on all cylinders. Absolutely no momentum lost with the early start here today after 2 yesterday and the day before as well.
Now it's the third baseman, Connor Hinks, digging in.
You know, sometimes just cramming these games all in together, it doesn't even give you time to get off of your rhythm. You just keep going. spending a lot of time in ballparks recently helps you maintain that mindset.
Well, the offense has certainly clicked over these past 4 games. It's really been something to watch, and they put up an early 2 spot in the first inning as the 0-1 offering to Hanks. He hits this one into left field. Will be gloved down by the left fielder Samuel Barber as Nathan Fink retreats back to first base.
Yeah, even again on the line out, strong contact, goes, lets his hands extend, get out on that ball, lifts it the other way. A bit of a soft liner, unable to find the ground there, but yeah, continuing to just see the ball here.
Now it's the first baseman, Henry Ford, up as the first offering from Gabriel Moore missed outside. Ford hit one of 2 Charlottesville home runs yesterday, really had a lot of quality swings at the dish.
Yeah, these UVA bats are really just coming into their own here. Ford really started the season off hot, unfortunately had to undergo some injury concerns, was out for a couple of weeks, and now he's back and really starting to find his groove again, and that was really just emphasized yesterday.
The 2-0, Moore picks off Fink as the throw goes into second base. Fink makes it in time as the throw from the first baseman, Carter Ruff, was off target, and Nathan Fink moves into scoring position.
Yeah, usually with a runner like Fink, you're not going to see a ton of movement out there. Usually you would call that a surprising decision, but with Lyndon Coleman, anything's in play here. Unfortunately, Fink got there, but you got to take what the defense gives you. The throw over to second was not exceptional. Bounces past the fielder and Fink on second. All it takes is a ball in the gap now here, and that's another run.
It's always tough to read a lefty's pickoff move. Extremely deceptive as the 3-0 pitch, Ford swinging, pops this one out into foul territory, but always tough to read a lefty, and they could pick off over to first base. It's all about that front foot, and Fink was a little too aggressive, but it pays off as he's on second base.
Fakes another pickoff there. A little bit easier when you're on second. When you're on first, he's also got that clear line of vision right at you. Very deceptive.
The 3-1 to Ford. That one misses outside, and Henry Ford works a 2-out walk. Now it's Brady Gumpf due up. Gumpf went into it yesterday hitting around 180. Now his average improved to 216. Really was seeing a lot of quality pitches yesterday, and he also hit a home run. It's the first pitch from Moore. Gumpf swinging, pops this one down the first base line and out of play.
Yeah, you mentioned it pregame. As Coach Lyndon Coleman is making these roster decisions and lineup decisions, they're often coming down to the wire, but Coleman here riding the hot hand of Gumpf, who had his 3-run homer yesterday. He's getting contributions up and down the lineup. These people that aren't starting here today, they're also making their impact. But when you got to decide who to put in, you look back at the results, and Coach Lyndon Coleman liked what he saw yesterday.
David Wiley not in the lineup, did not appear yesterday. 1-1 to Gumpf. That one misses downstairs for ball number 2.
Yeah, and I mentioned the key for both of these teams in the final stretch was longevity out of their starters. Charlottesville hitters really being able to work the count here. Not only are they teeing off on what's in the zone, but they're being diligent. They're able to lay off what's outside of it, get that pitch count up, and really just put these front Royal pitchers to work here.
Moore stepped off the mound, looked back at Fink, who stands on second. Ford leads off first base. The 2-1 to Gumpf. He's swinging all the way, comes up with nothing but air, and now as the count is even at 2-2.
Yeah, that's been the pitch Moore's had the most success with recently is the elevated fastball. Sometimes Charlottesville is just not able to catch up to it. He's seen success there a few times now.
Moore looking to get out of the jam. The 2-2 pitch. This one grounded toward the third baseman Camp. This one kicks off of his glove, and Brady Gumpf will reach. And the bases are now loaded for Calvin Alexander.
Yeah, that's a difficult play over there for the third baseman. Just kicks off his glove. Fink just trots into third, has no intention. With maybe a faster runner, you see B-Dub over there give the signal. But with Fink over there, they're content loading up the bases for KJ here.
So that last play will be ruled a hit to another single for Brady Gumpf, who continues to deliver at the dish. And now the bags are loaded for Calvin Alexander, who Moore starts him off with a first pitch breaking ball that missed outside. Alexander hitting 182 this summer, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs. The 1-0. Missed off the plate again for ball 2.
Yeah, Alexander, average, not exactly the top of the charts, but this guy, when he connects, boy, does it go a long way. He's moved into the upper echelon of the Tom Sox all-time home run board. And, one of those right now would go a long way for both these teams.
Alexander works the count to 3-0. He's 1 for his last 13, that one hit being a grand slam.
Mm-hmm.
The 3-0 to Alexander, taking all the way, that one in there for strike number 1.
Yeah, 3-0 there with the command struggling. You're going to want to take a single run walked in all day there. Able to find the zone. See what KJ's approach is here.
Fink stands on third base. The 3-1 to Alexander chops this one just foul.
Here's some thoughts on the game from our press box up here.
I believe that was either Caleb Ketchy or Braden Halliday helping out with stats today. Bags are loaded. Count is full. The 3-2 to Alexander. In there for strike 3. Gabriel Moore freezes Calvin Alexander and strands the bases loaded. But not before Charlottesville puts up a 2 spot in the bottom of the first inning after a 2-run blast from Aiden Till. We head to the top of the second with the Tom Sox leading 2-0.
Greensboro, number 30, Robert Mosley.
After a 1-2-3 top of the first, Charlottesville puts up a 2 spot in the bottom half of the first inning as they now have a 2-0 lead to begin the second inning. Due up is the cleanup hitter and catcher Robert Mosley, who faces Zach Mack for his second inning of work.
Yeah, they added 2 on there. They had a chance to do a lot more with the bases loaded and 2 outs there. Moore able to work out of a jam that could have got a lot worse, and we've seen these bats take off for the Tom Sox. That certainly won't be their last opportunity, but interesting to think what could have happened had that ending been extended just a bit further there.
The 2-0 grounded toward the second baseman, Bryce Martinez, who lays out, but that goes underneath his glove in right field for a leadoff single for the catcher, Robert Mosley.
Batting for the Cardinals, shortstop from Georgia State, Taylor Schultz.
And that'll bring up Taylor Schultz for the Cardinals.
Schultz hitting .240 this season. 7 RBIs. This is his 15th game played. First pitch to Schultz. He cracks this one into left field. Retreating back is the left fielder for the Tom Sox, Brady Gumpf, who puts it away for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, as a pitcher, you're never going to complain about those one-pitch, one-out scenarios there.
Now it's the third baseman, Drew Camp, digging in. Camp struggling so far this summer, hitting just 179 with a home run and 11 RBIs. First pitch from Mack. This one grounded toward the third baseman Hinks. Bobbles it on the backhand. Makes the long throw over to first base. Not in time to catch Camp. And the Front Royal Cardinals have a runner on first and second with one out in the inning.
Yeah, that ball on a difficult hop, going to be a judgment call up here in our book. That's a play we've seen Hinks make before. Unfortunately, just kicks off the heel of his glove there, it looks like. Composed enough to make a throw, make the play close, not throw it away, give them anything more there. But, yeah, unable to make the out there.
So it will be ruled a single for Drew Camp, which brings up Carter Ruff. Ruff, first pitch swinging, misses the first offering from Zach Mack.
Here, Mack just settling into a rhythm, taking his time up on the mound, but working with pace, working with intention here.
The 0-1 to Ruff in there for strike number 2.
It's one of those. Ruff gave a shoulder turn there, thinking, maybe I should have swung. That's just a nicely placed pitch there, upper 90. This is for all the soccer fans out there.
The 0-2 pitch to Ruff. This one lined hard and foul down the first base side. Mack worked a 1-2-3 at top of the first, but is allowed 2 singles here in the top of the second.
Even with the traffic, I liked how he's come around on this at bat, really just continuing to assert himself, make himself known as. He elevates a fastball there, just beautiful, puts it right past Ruff, and that'll be 2 down now.
Mack blows the fastball by Carter Ruff, his second strikeout of the ball game, which brings up Brody Black with 2 outs in the inning.
Right fielder from Coppin State, Brody Black.
Brody Black, the Coppin State product, batting .205 this year in 13 games. 1 home run on the season, 9 hits.
Black with an RBI to get his team, or with a chance to get his team on the board. The first pitch from Mack misses off the plate for ball 1. Mosley leads off second. He started this inning with a single. Drew Camp is on first base as Mack gets Black fishing there as the count is even at 1-1.
Yeah, Mack really able to work this this outside edge on the plate. Really able to paint here, elevate, and drop it when he needs to. Really showing the full arsenal on that outside corner.
Mack out of the windup, the 1-1 pitch. Bounces in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Calvin Alexander, and both runners stay put.
Yeah, I do appreciate KJ's defense back there. It's always a joy to watch him block up balls, take it off the chest, the knees. Saw him take one off the face earlier, unfortunately, on the foul ball, but he's willing to do it all back there and keep those runners at bay if he can.
The 2-1. Black misses the high heat from Mack, and the count is even now at 2-2.
See if he returns to that outside corner. Watch how KJ sets up.
2 runners on. Count is 2-2. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Tom Sox lead 2-0. Mack's 2-2 pitch to Black. This one fouled out of play. We'll do the 2-2 once more.
That pitch, at the last minute, you see KJ pop up, slide a little bit to that outside corner. Mack kept it middle and able to get a piece is Black.
Mack peers in, gets the sign from Alexander. Checks the runners now, deals the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, bounces in the dirt, blocked by Alexander. The count runs full here with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, another excellent block there. If you're Zach Mack, you want to rein it in here, though. Make sure the inning goes no further. You've got the 2-run advantage. You want to keep everything right there. And now's a perfect time to get these bats back out on the field here for the Tom Sox.
Runners will go on the pitch to 3-2. Fouled right back into the fence behind home plate. They'll have to retreat back to the bags.
Yeah, Mack on the mound right now. You kind of have to just block out all that noise out there on the base pass. Just focus in on the batter here.
Mack looking to get out of the jam here. The 3-2 pitch. Misses for ball 4, and Front Royal has loaded the bases.
Misses high there. Not a bad spot. Could see him giving a cut there, but plate discipline wins the day there, and ultimately the bases are loaded. Mirroring the situation from the previous half inning with the Tom Sox, now 2-out bases loaded situation for the Front Royal Cardinals, who looking to scratch back into this game after going down 2-0.
Now it's the 9-hole hitter, Samuel Barber. Mack begins the at-bat with a fastball that runs into the left-handed batter's box for ball 1. Barber, just his second at-bat this season, in his lone at-bat, struck out. Mack already with 2 punch-outs in the game, would like to add a third. As he blows a fastball by Barber here, the count is even at 1-1.
Yeah, if you're Mack, you don't have a ton of room to dance around the zone here, and part of that is you're just going to have to trust the defense behind you to make a play. There's a play at any base now, so you can't be afraid of the strike zone. You can't be afraid of contact as long as you're able to throw your pitches and make sure you're locating where you need it to go. Then you can let the guys behind you do the rest.
The 1-1 from Mack in there for strike 2. The count is now 1-2 with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, of course, in an ideal situation, you do it yourself. So we'll see if he's able to do that here.
The 1-2 pitch from Mack misses outside. Count is even at 2-2. Mosley stands on third. He singled to begin the inning. Drew Kemp on second. He also singled. Brody Black worked a walk in his last at-bat. He's on first base. Time was called on the field.
Yeah, unsure what the home plate umpire is making note of here. Appears that Front Royals dugout may have taken a visit to avoid a clock violation there.
Mack's 2-2 breaking ball just misses off the plate, and Barber works the count full here with the bases loaded.
Another action pitch coming here. Runners will most certainly be on the move.
Runners will take off on the pitch. The 3-2 offering to Barber. He laces this one into right field. Mosley will come around to score. Camp gets waved home, and it's a 2 RBI single for Samuel Barber, and this game is knotted up at 2.
Yeah, that's a difficult one for the Tom Sox to swallow. You're so close to getting out of it there. Little stop in the momentum, and then that's why the runners move on those 3-2 counts. There's nothing to lose. If it's a pitch outside of the zone, that's a walk. But if you have them moving and magic happens there, then, 2 are able to come around easily. That was not a bad throw from right fielder Nathan Fink out there. But with those runners moving, not much you're going to be able to do as the score's now knotted up at 2-2.
So it's runners on the corners, and we head back to the top of the Front Royal lineup for the center fielder, Nicholas Capozzi. He flew out to Garrett Spikes in center field to begin the ball game. Black on third, Barber on first base after his 2-run single. Mack goes with the breaking ball. Gets Capozzi looking here, and the count moves to 0-2.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Barber takes off here, tries to generate any more. There he goes here.
The 0-2 pitch, Barber running. Capozzi hits this one into center field. Spikes backs up a couple of steps. He puts it away for the third and final out of the inning, but not before Front Royal evens this ball game at 2 after a 2-run single from the left fielder, Samuel Barber. We head to the bottom half of the inning with the score knotted at 2 apiece. Lefty on lefty matchup here to begin the bottom of the second as Garrett Spikes, the center fielder, leads things off against Gabriel Moore. Moore allowed 2 runs in the first inning via a 2-run shot from Aiden Teal. First pitch to Spikes, breaking ball that misses for ball 1.
Yeah, and Spikes yesterday in the second game of that doubleheader, carving his way into Tom Sox history with the most game appearances of all time. Mr. Tom Sox himself now stands alone atop that list. This is his 83rd game across 3 seasons for the Charlottesville Tom Sox.
1-0 from Spikes, pops it up, caught by the third baseman Drew Kemp, tucks it away. It was a very difficult play, made it on the backhand, but puts it away for out number 1.
Yeah, he's clearly not comfortable over there. Sun probably glaring into his eyes there. Kind of turns away from it. As you said, backhand that catch which is just pretty atypical, but nonetheless able to haul it in, and that'll bring the Tom Sox back around to the top of their lineup with Edwards.
Now it's the second half of the bromance between Garrett Spikes and Kyle Edwards as Edwards, first pitch swinging, lines that right back into the fence behind home plate. Edwards and Spikes both played a lot of baseball here in Charlottesville. Spikes back for year 3, Kyle year 2, as Moore bounces a pitch in the dirt. Kyle actually with more career at-bats than Garrett Spikes. Game 36 for Kyle this season. The 1-1 from Moore. Kyle lofts this one into right field. Brody Black plays it all the way and retires Edwards for out number 2.
Yeah, you talk about the wear and tear of the season, and right now I'm taking a look at Kyle Edwards, and that's a massive rip in the back of those pants back there. This season really just taking a toll, exhausting the players, and their equipment gets no break either. It's no days off for any of it.
Kyle rarely misses any games for Charlottesville. Can put him all over the diamond. He's played short, played second, played first. Similar to Bryce Martinez, who watches a first pitch fastball cross in for strike number 1. Martinez 1 for 1 today, singled in the first. 1 misses for ball number 1.
Yeah, Moore, while he's had his difficulties so far, he really does. He brings it. There's a little bit of mustard on that fastball, and especially when it elevates. I think that's where he finds the most success.
1-1 off-speed pitch misses outside, and Martinez up in the count 2-1. Bryce was held hitless in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader against Woodstock, where Charlottesville put up 20 runs. Martinez expands his zone there, chasing a high fastball. The count is now even at 2-2.
Yeah, as my other broadcasting partner, Luke Nadkarni, would say, it's twos wild across the board here with the count, score.
The 2-2 to Martinez, fouled right back into the fence.
And they'll stay up there for one more try here. As Martinez steps out, just the arm guard.
So 2-2 is the score. 2-2 is the count. There's 2 outs in the inning. Gabriel Moore wears 22. The 2-2 to Martinez misses in tight as Bryce backs out of the way, and the count rounds full here with 2 outs in the inning. Martinez looking to keep this inning alive for the Tom Sox. The full count pitch on its way. This one grounded out to the shortstop, Taylor Schultz. Fields it, fires, makes the throw in time to retire Martinez as Gabriel Moore works a 1-2-3 bottom of the second. We head to the top of the third with the score still even at 2 apiece.
From Longwood, Hayden.
Lyndon Coleman goes to his bullpen to begin the top of the third. Zach Maxday has done the new arm, the lefty Chris Arroyo.
Yeah, Arroyo making his fourth appearance for the Tom Sox here in the pitching role as that ball is cranked back to left field.
Hayden Harris put a ride into this one, but it's gloved down by the left fielder Brady Gumpf for allowed out number one.
Yeah, Arroyo in a pitching capacity, his fourth appearance for the Tom Sox, as he's known to go both ways and step it to the plate as well. Pitching wise, he's got one loss. He's got a 4.82 ERA in those now 4 appearances, going 9 and a third innings, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 8 hits across those.
Zach Mack went 2 innings, allowed 2 runs, did strike out 2. But now the 1-0 from Arroyo in there for strike number 1 as the count is even to Cameron Douglas. Douglas DHing today, struck out swinging to end the first inning as he pops this one up near first base. The first baseman Henry Ford backing into right field as he puts this one away for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and the pace, I'm sure Arroyo's very happy to have here. Coach Lyndon Coleman, making the quick pull after 2 innings. Seems like it may be one of those by committee days where the full bullpen gets active and involved here. So far, Arroyo cruising through 2.
Now it's the left-handed hitting catcher Robert Mosley, and Arroyo starts him off with a slider that misses outside. Yesterday, Charlottesville got 10 innings from their 2 starters in Game 1 and 2, Braden Halliday, Caleb Ketchie, giving them a lot of length as Mosley swings through an off-speed pitch, evening the count at 1-1. They just had to use Yordani Carmona and Lucas Cash to get through 4 innings.
Yeah, and now sitting at Tuesday, in the progression of the week, you have to think who's going to be available for these playoff matchups. We're not 100% sure how these playoffs are going to shake out, but we do know that the first matchup is likely going to be Thursday, and so you have to be taking that into account now in these final regular season games, making sure you're going to have who you need now, but also have who you need later.
Arroyo's 2-2 breaking ball misses downstairs, and the count runs full here with 2 outs in the inning. The 3-2 pitch misses high for ball 4, and Robert Mosley keeps the inning alive with a walk.
Shortstop, Taylor Schultz.
Yeah, and that would have been big for momentum. Quick 3 up, 3 down for Arroyo there, get the bats back out. But nonetheless, he's been efficient so far, barring the previous at-bat, and we'll see if he's able to get his momentum back here.
Now it's the shortstop Taylor Schultz as Arroyo starts him off with a ball that misses high. Schultz flew out to Brady Gumpf in left field just an inning ago. The 1-0 pitch. That one in there for strike number 1, evening the count at 1-1.
That one crossing the plate right to left there. Arroyo doing a good job of holding the runner Mosley there.
1-1 pitch. Misses outside for ball 2.
Yeah. Whenever you're able to, he's giving the runner looks over there. Whenever you're able to deliver a pitch across the plate, get a strike call, and the runner takes a step back to the base, you know you've done a good job as a pitcher there.
The 2-1, this one lined into center field. Spikes coming on, puts it away for the 3rd out of the inning. Chris Arroyo puts away the front Royal hitters, just allowing the 1 walk to Robert Mosley, and we head to the bottom of the 3rd with the game still even at 2. Aiden Teal set to lead things off here in the bottom of the third. Aiden Teal went yard in his first at-bat, which put the Sox on the board. Game is even at 2 apiece as the first pitch from the lefty Gabriel Moore in there for strike number 1.
Yeah, and that bomb in the first inning, absolute no-doubter from Aiden Teal. He puts everything into every swing. It's absolutely a joy to watch.
The 0-1 chopped on the ground down the first base line and foul. David Utagawa tried to glove that with his bare hand, but couldn't come up with the grab.
So I'm taking some swings with the lumber, as you said, mid-innings. Interesting to see Dave out there swinging the stick as well.
0-2 breaking ball from Moore, bounces in the dirt. So Utagawa coached first base yesterday.
You know, the phrase man of the people gets tossed around, but I think Dave is absolutely fit for that term. He does it all for the team, really.
Next offering from Moore, chopped foul down the first base side. Fielded by the first base coach, Trey Smith. Moore gets the sign from his catcher, Mosley. The 1-2 offering to Teal, fouled away once again.
And we'll go ahead and do it one more time. Love the approach from Teal here. He's aggressive. He's fighting balls off. Really know he wants to get the barrel into one of these, but he's going to fight for his pitch to do so.
The Tom Sox sent up 8 hitters in the first inning, went 1-2-3 in the second as this next pitch runs in tight on Teal, barely escaping that pitch, but bounces out of the way, and the count is now even at 2-2.
Yeah, you saw him kind of barely leave his feet there, I believe. If that's one that he just turns, easier said than done, of course, that may nail him, but it goes right through the wickets as he turns and allows that one past him.
2-2 fastball just off the plate, and Teal works the count full here to lead off the third.
Yeah, we haven't seen the outcome, but nonetheless, just an absolutely impressive at-bat from Teal. Going down early, fighting off the pitches, taking what he needs to.
The 3-2 from Moore to Teal. That one misses above the belt, and Aiden Teal is on with a leadoff walk.
Yeah, just maintaining the composure there, getting down in the count early, not letting it phase him. And he's just able to stay in there and battle back and end up on first base.
Now it's Nathan Fink, the cleanup hitter, who was off for both of the games yesterday against Woodstock. Singled back in the first inning. The first offering from Moore misses off the plate for ball 1.
Fink appearing in 20 games this season, so he's been in and out of the rotation, a semi-reliable piece for Lyndon Coleman here.
The 1-0 pitch, Fink hits it high into left field. Going back to the track is the left fielder Samuel Barber, who sticks his glove out and makes the grab. Retreating back to first base is Aiden Teal. Nathan Fink hit that ball a long way, but Samuel Barber tracked it down.
Yeah, he really put a charge into that, and it was confusing tracking the movement of Barber out there in left field as he appeared camped out under it, then ran back about 20 feet and had to kind of make an underhand running catch to make that play. I'm sure the sun played a role on his judgment of the ball out there. Nonetheless, able to rein it in, and that's an out for the Front Royal Cardinals.
Now it's the lefty Connor Hinks, who swings at the first offering from Gabriel Moore. Hinks 0 for 1 today, flew out to Barber in left field back in the first inning.
And on that long flyout, Teal really left with no choice but to bolster that lead and then eventually retreat there.
Hinks serves it into left field. Barber once again gloves it down for the second out of the inning. Teal retreats back to the first base bag.
Barber getting his work cut out for him out there as he's now had to battle through the sun twice now to rein these balls in. Able to do it despite the routes, able to just rein those balls in, and I'm sure Moore doesn't care how it gets done.
Now it's Henry Ford digging in. Ford worked a walk back in the first. Hit a 3-run home run yesterday as the first pitch from Moore misses for a ball, and Mosley fake throwing it back to the pitcher, throws it back to first base. Teal dives back in head first, back in time.
Teal needing to dive there. That's a back pick without the full body behind it, just more of an arm throw. Bounces in there. If he's able to put a little bit more into that, Teal might be in a bit of trouble there, but fortunately able to dive back in.
1-0 for Moore, misses outside for ball 2. Ford struggled after he broke his thumb, but in the last week or so, really starting to get back into the groove as he works the count now 3-0 here with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, and the real recent offensive success for the Tom Sox, you can look at these UVA guys. Got Teal on first, Ford at the plate, and another one of those contributors as Ford heads down to first is Jacob Ferentz as well, the new addition, transferring from Salisbury, heading to UVA as well. So these three are going to be spending a lot more time in Charlottesville after the Tom Sox hopefully lengthy postseason run comes to an end. But they're already making their mark known on the baseball field here with the Tom Sox.
Well, we saw yesterday head coach Lyndon Coleman put them 4, 5, 6 in the order, Teal, Ferentz, and Ford. And they were the driving force in putting up 20 runs yesterday. One of those other forces, the guy at the dish right now, Brady Gumpf, who watches the first pitch, miss outside for ball 1.
And I got to tell you, with the Tom Sox media team, I feel like we're getting out ahead of a lot of these Ford driving the offense things that are soon going to be plaguing the UVA media scene as well. But you heard it here first, folks, with that one specifically.
The 1-0 pitch from Moore in there for strike 1 to even the count at 1-1. Too many puns you could play with Henry Ford.
Yeah, we saw PA announcer last night had a great one about moving them along the assembly line, which I really appreciated there.
Gumpf flies this one into left field, caught by the left fielder Samuel Barber for the 3rd out of the inning. Gabriel Moore walks 2, but gets 3 flyouts to Barber out in left field to retire the Sox in the bottom of the 3rd. Score is even at 2 apiece as we head to the top of the 4th right here on Tom Sox TV. Chris Arroyo out for his 2nd inning of work and leading things off 1.
Saw Arroyo work quickly through that last inning, just 4 batters. Saw 1 walk there, able to rein in the control here and just continue to cruise through these Cardinals batters would be best for the Tom Sox.
The 0-1 pitch bounces off the glove of the catcher Calvin Alexander for ball number 1. The 1-1 offering misses outside, and Camp is up in the count 2-1. Camp singled back in the 2nd inning, came around to score on the 2-run single from the left fielder Samuel Barber. As Camp hits this one into center field, that one will find the gap as Spikes plays it near the fence, and Drew Camp steamrolls into second base with a leadoff double.
Yeah, as you mentioned on the earlier at bat for Camp, not having the best season, hitting 179 prior to this game with 1 home run on the season. 2 for 2 so far against the Tom Sox here, putting the pieces together.
Now it's the first baseman, Carter Ruff, stepping in. Ruff struck out swinging back in the second. The second of 2 Zach Mack strikeouts. First pitch to him, misses outside for a ball.
Be interesting to see the little bit of a dance that Drew Camp does on second base. He's got 9 stolen bases on the season. Not the fastest on Front Royals team by any means, but he has a little bit of sneaky speed to get his way there.
The 2-0 now to Ruff. He has to bounce back out of the way, as now Arroyo is behind in the count, 3-0 here.
Ruff, the product of Fayetteville, Georgia, out of Gardner-Webb University.
The 3-0 pitch in there, first strike number 1, Ruff taking all the way.
Ruff with 7 walks on the season thus far, 1 hit by pitch.
The 3-1 pitch misses high, and Front Royal has 2 runners on with no one out.
Right fielder from Coppin
And make that 8 for Ruff there.
Black.
So now it's the 8-hole hitter and right fielder Brody Black digging in. Black worked a walk, was stranded on third base back in the second inning. Camp leads off second. He started the inning with a double. Ruff on first base after his walk. And Arroyo starts out the at-bat against Black with a first pitch ball.
Black coming out of Coppin State University, and thanks to my buddy Alex for this great research. His hometown is Stouffville, Ontario, which I may be exposing myself a little bit here. I did have to look up and confirm. Stouffville, Canadian territory.
You know, baseball is only growing out in Canada. Toronto has been one of the top teams out in the MLB, as Black lines this one straight back into the fence behind home plate. So now the count moves to 1-2 with no one out in the inning.
Yeah, baseball just continuing to grow its international brand, and the World Baseball Classic, of course, playing no small role in that. With excellent baseball, a lot of great representation from all the countries participated there.
The 1-2 pitch from Arroyo to Black spoils this one as he hits it out of play.
Arroyo up in the count here. Again, runners on first and second here. No out.
Arroyo peers in, gets a sign from Alexander. Now the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, just off the plate, and the count is even at 2-2.
It's one of those breaking balls that at the completion of its trajectory, it might end up past the plate. The break just brings it just behind the plate, perhaps. Well located, just not ultimately what he needed.
The 2-2 pitch to Black. This one lined into left field, played on a bounce by the left fielder Brady Gump, who throws it into the infield, throws it into no man's land, but it is the second baseman, Bryce Martinez, who picks that loose ball up, flips it back to the pitcher, Chris Arroyo. Now the bags are juiced for the 9-hitter, Samuel Barber.
Yeah, Gump there came up quick, looked like he might, attempt or fake a throw to second, try to apply some pressure there. Ultimately chose to just kind of place it in the middle of everyone as that ball rolled. Very lucky that the runner on third didn't advance there. Would have been an interesting play to see unfold.
So now it's Samuel Barber up with the bases loaded as he watches the first pitch from Arroyo miss for ball number 1. Barber had the 2 RBI single back in the top of the second as he waves through a fastball from Arroyo here, evening the count at 1-1. Just his third at-bat on the season.
Barber with just 1 game under his belt thus far.
The 1-1 from Arroyo gets Barber to wave through that pitch. And Arroyo 1 strike away from retiring Barber and getting a huge first out of the inning. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, he got him. Chris Arroyo gets Samuel Barber swinging for the first out of the inning.
Barber there, the Shenandoah U commit, and I noticed I believe a Dirtbags helmet on him representing travel and showcase baseball here in Virginia.
Now it's Nicholas Capozzi due up, swinging at the first pitch from Arroyo. Strike number 1. Capozzi 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts to Garrett Spikes out in center field. Capozzi puts the bunt down and pulls back for ball number 1.
Yeah, that's a play that we saw benefit the Tom Sox in multiple occasions last night, especially with Sergio Rivera at the plate dropping down pitch-perfect bunts with the bases loaded, making it happen.
1-1 breaking ball in there for strike 2. The count moves to 1-2 with 1 out in the inning. Bases remain loaded here for Front Royal. The 1-2 pitch to Capozzi runs too far and tight. The count is even at 2-2.
Yeah,
Mentioned the bunting and the small ball, though. You've seen that from all season long from the Tom Sox.
Yeah, I have to credit Sergio. He does a great job getting it down. Spikes is another guy who's just had some really impressively placed bunts. And as important as these top-of-the-lineup guys are, their power, their liners, homers, and all that, sometimes situational baseball just calls for something different, and it's equally as valuable in my opinion.
The full count pitch to Capozzi misses off the plate, and Arroyo walks in a run, and Front Royal takes a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, and that's just difficult. You see Front Royal originally squaring around a bunt, thinking maybe they need to take matters into their own hands. Ultimately, they sit back, let the Sox walk in their own run there, and that'll be grounds for a mound visit from Coach Lyndon Coleman there.
So Lyndon Coleman will take the stroll out to the mound. Charlottesville does have a reliever warming up, but the bases are loaded here. Carter Ruff stands on third base after he walked. Brody Black is on second after he singled, and Nicholas Capozzi stands on first after his walk. Coming in to score was Drew Camp, who led off the inning with a double.
Yeah, and it seemed we're only in the top of the 4th here. It seemed like we've seen the bases loaded for both teams on multiple occasions so far. There's been a lot of traffic on these base paths, and it's ultimately surprising the scoreboard hasn't been lit up a little bit more so far. Hopefully Lyndon Coleman able to provide some words of advice to the battery out there, the infield as well, give them some strategic positioning, excuse me.
So the reliever warming up for the Sox in the bullpen, Lucas Cash. Cash tossed 2 innings yesterday as Hayden Harris skies this one into center field. Spikes makes the catch. Coming home is Carter Ruff. That ball will be cut off by the shortstop, Kyle Edwards. But it's a sac fly for Hayden Harris as Carter Ruff comes in to score, and Front Royal now leads the ball game 4-2.
Yeah, and Spike's someone we've seen on a few occasions now with these outfield putouts, outfield assists. Thought for a second maybe he might unleash the cannon, see if he can nab him at home. Ultimately makes what's probably the smart play, keep the runner at second there. But really a nice arm on Spikes out there. He slots well into center field of his many positions that he does play.
We saw Spikes gun down a runner when playing right field. Did that to open the ball game. That was game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. Now it's Cameron Douglas up with runners on first and second as he fouls off the 0-1 pitch down the first base line. Black stands on second. Capozzi on first. Front Royal leads 4-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Douglas 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a pop-up to Henry Ford at first base. The 0-2 fastball misses outside, and the count is 1-2.
Yeah, we've seen these pitchers get up in these counts before and kind of let them slip away, but would be good to see him take the reins here.
The 1-2 from Arroyo. This one served in a right field. Playing it on a hop is Nathan Fink. Fink firing home and holding the runner, Brody Black, on third base. But Front Royal loads the bases here still with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, and ultimately credit to Fink there, able to get it in. But you know, on that play there, you see the value of the play before with Spikes able to hold that runner from advancing to third instead of uncorking it and taking kind of a miracle shot at getting the runner home there, because now the runner holds at third, unable to advance, minimizes the damage for now as Arroyo continues to work.
Now it's the left-handed hitting catcher, Robert Mosley, who has reached in both of his plate appearances. Singled and scored back in the second, walked in the third. And Arroyo is now down on the count 2-0 here. Black leads off third, Capozzi on second, Cameron Douglas on first base. Charlottesville down 4-2 as Arroyo pours in a strike, moving the count to 2-1.
That's a nice pitch to fire in while you're behind. You don't just float it over the middle.
2-1 is fouled off the bat of Mosley. Mosley not wanting to swing there, looks frustrated after that foul ball. With the count now even at 2-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Arroyo looking to get out of the jam, only giving up 2 runs. Breaking ball misses outside, running the count full here.
Yeah, and on that you see was 2s across the board again, as Radio and Ed Carney would say. All the scoring increments have come in pairs of 2 as well.
Runners will take off on the pitch. Mosley pops this one up. Backing up is the shortstop, Kyle Edwards. He gets called off by Brady Gump out in left field, who makes the catch for the third out of the inning as Chris Arroyo strands the bases loaded, but not before Front Royal puts up 2 more runs on the board, and they now lead 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th here on Tom Sox TV. It's the final regular season game here at CHO Airport Field. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Jacob Tisdale. And the Front Royal Cardinals have a 4-2 advantage over the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Here in the bottom of the 4th, leading things off for the Sox is the catcher, Calvin Alexander. Gabriel Moore out for his 4th inning of work and begins the at-bat against Alexander with a first pitch ball that misses upstairs.
Alexander's last at-bat came back while the Tom Sox were threatening to score with the bases loaded, as he puts a charge into that one.
Alexander hits this high and deep, sending the left fielder Samuel Barber back to the track, but with his back nearly up against the fence, puts it away for a loud and high out number 1.
Center fielder,
Yeah, I can think of a couple other parks in the Valley Baseball League where that one might have been a run for the Tom Sox there, but ultimately reined in by Sam Barber out in left field.
4 straight flyouts to Samuel Barber out in left field as Garrett Spikes tries a first pitch bunt, and he bunts right to the first baseman, Carter Ruff, foul.
Yeah, we've seen some perfectly placed bunts by Spikes so far this season. That one, an interesting sort of slap bunt approach there. Not sure how that would have fared had it stayed fair.
Spike smiling after laying that bunt down as he skies this one up. Nearing it is the third baseman, Drew Camp, who backs up and puts it away for the second out of the inning as Gabriel Moore continues to fool these Tom Sox hitters.
Yeah, I've been impressed by Drew Camp over at third base so far. With this 1 p.m. game, sun straight up in the sky there, he's able to make a couple ranging plays over there with his arm at uncomfortable angles, just raining balls in and collecting outs for these Front Royal Cardinals.
Moore just with 1 strikeout so far, really pitching to contact, but it's worked out so far as in steps the leadoff hitter Kyle Edwards for his third at-bat of the ball game. Edwards lays down a bunt. Fielding it is the pitcher Moore, who attempts to make a throw. The ball slips out of his hands as Edwards, busting it down the line, reaches to continue the inning.
Yeah, not sure what happened there on the transfer. To put it gently, that was one of the throws of all time that I've seen over there to first. Ultimately, Edwards able to safely advance there, and that's the Sox now have a 2-out runner.
It's the first base hit for Charlottesville since Brady Gump back in the first inning, as Martinez now lays down a bunt to get right to the first baseman Carter Ruff, and no one's covering the bag at first base, so small ball for the Sox, leading to some base knocks as Aiden Teal digging in with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, this was definitely a note by head coach Lyndon Coleman or one of the assistant coaches as well. They've seen something in the Front Royal defense that they're ready to expose here. Now 3 batters in a row have squared at the very least, and that's now 2-out runners for the Tom Sox, so it's been working, and no one you want to bring up more than Teal right now after seeing what he was able to do in the first inning here.
That was Martinez just laying down the bunt perfectly to Carter Ruff, and Hayden Harris, the second baseman, couldn't get over to the bag, but now it's the lefty Aiden Teal digging in, who's 1 for 1 on the day, as Moore, his first pitch spiked in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Mosley. 1 for 1 with a 2-run home run back in the first inning, walked in the third. First base coach today, David Wiley, as Kyle Edwards now taking off for third. Moorer's throw is not in time as Edwards swipes third base, and Martinez stays put on first base, and the Sox now have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about all season long with head coach Lyndon Coleman. These aren't obviously the players are executing very well here, but he's just making it happen. It's that manufacturing of offense there.
Before Moorer's 1-0 pitch to Teal, attempts a pickoff move to keep an eye on Martinez on first base. A lot of speed on the base pass for the Sox. 22 stolen bases for Martinez as the 1-0 pitch to Teal runs too far inside for ball 2.
Edwards and I had a friendly discussion of a couple of the base running miscues that we saw a little bit earlier in this week, as now Martinez caught in a pickle here.
So Martinez will take off for second as Bryce is getting looked back to the bag, and Kyle will come home, and Bryce Martinez makes it back to first base. It was just Hayden Harris and the shortstop Taylor Schultz just looking back. Martinez to the bag, Edward taking off and coming home, as now the Tom Sox trail 4-3 here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, and that's a play that brings me back to middle school ball, travel ball, where, you know, runners on the corners, you have the runner on first kind of trip midway down. What's interesting about that is there's 2 outs there. You have no guarantee that even a rundown is going to yield those kind of outcomes, but ultimately just a bit of a mental lapse for the Cardinals there as they allow Kyle Edwards to come racing home from third and allow Martinez to get back safely there.
Count is now 3-0 on Aiden Teal, but it's been small ball for the Sox here in the bottom of the fourth as there is another pickoff move to keep an eye on Martinez. But it was Edwards and Bryce both laying down bunts and just taking advantage of some mental lapse for Front Royal. The 3-0 pitch to Teal misses inside for a ball, and Charlottesville with 2 runners on with 2 outs.
Yeah, and that can be difficult when you're a pitcher on the mound. I was going to say for Moore ahead of this inning, this is by far his best outing. His previous high in his appearances was 1 2/3 innings. He's now worked through 4 here, or excuse me, 3 2/3. Comfortably his best outing, but with all that noise on the base paths, it's difficult to lock in and focus on the batter.
Now it's Nathan Fink who gives this ball a ride deep down the right field line, and it's the right fielder Brody Black who puts it away for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before Charlottesville tacks on a run and cuts the deficit to just 1 after Kyle Edwards comes home after Bryce Martinez got into a little bit of a rundown, but Charlottesville practicing some small ball, and they make it just a 4-3 ball game. Don't go anywhere as we have more action right here on Tom Sox TV. Chris Arroyo goes 2 innings, and now it's time for Lucas Cash to come into the ballgame. Cash actually pitched last night, went 2 innings, walked 1, struck out a hitter in the 9-3 victory over Woodstock.
Yeah, it was a very quiet stat line for Cash last night against the River Bandits, but not always a bad thing. You know, if you're a relief pitcher, you come in, nothing notable happens, then that's you doing your job, and he did it well last night. Helped the Tom Sox kind of secure that second victory there, and ready to try and contribute and pitch in here as well on back-to-back days. Now
it's Taylor Schultz leading off the top of the 5th. So he watches 2 balls evade the zone to begin the at-bat. Cash, this is his 3rd appearance, has pitched 3 1/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 1 as Schultz grounds this to the shortstop Kyle Edwards, who makes a throw over to first base in time as one shortstop grounds out to the other.
Yeah, nice to see Edwards back at short out there, as we've seen him shift around, dealing with some tension a little bit, kind of shuffling things around there. He played admirably at first base. You know, that's not where he's most comfortable, but he made the most of the opportunity over there. But again, good to see him back where he's probably most comfortable out there as he makes the play and grabs a quick out for the Tom Sox.
Now it's Drew Camp, first pitch swing, lifts this one into left field, and making the grab is the left fielder Brady Gumpf, retiring Drew Camp for the first time today and for the second out of the inning.
From Gardner-Webb's first base
And Cash again here, not recording too many stats of his own personally, but that's 2 outs quickly and quietly for Cash here. I really like the way this guy works.
Now it's Carter Ruff as Cash begins the at-bat with an off-speed pitch. Cash, the rising sophomore, attending Wake Tech Community College. 1-0 pitch, bounce off the front foot of Ruff, and foul.
Yeah, just 3 appearances, including this one now on the season. But heading into the postseason, if he's able to continue to perform as he did yesterday, then that's going to be a valuable addition to the bullpen on that back end, as everyone's going to be getting touches in.
Well, we've seen a couple of the relievers get starts as this one grounded to the shortstop, Kyle Edwards. Edwards goes into a slide, but that ball just evades his glove, and it bounds into left field for a 2-out single for Carter Ruff.
Edwards sliding there. He has demonstrated his range at shortstop, and that's arguably within his range, but the slide there kicks up, takes a unfortunate bounce over the glove, and that one will scatter out into left field and give the Front Royal Cardinals a 2-out base runner.
Now it's Brody Black. Black 1 for 1 on the day, walked in the second and singled in the fourth as he pops this one straight up. Edwards retreating, backs up a couple of steps and puts it away for the 3rd out of the inning. Lucas Cash comes out of the bullpen, allows a 2-out single to Carter Ruff. But other than that, impressive out on the mound as we head to the bottom half of the 5th, with the Sox still trailing 4-3. As Taylor Swift comes across the PA system here, it's time for the bottom of the 5th as the 3rd baseman, Connor Hinks, is now due up. Hinks with a pair of flyouts to Samuel Barber out in left field. The first pitch, off-speed pitch from Gabriel Moore, misses downstairs for ball number 1.
See if Hinks can make some sparks fly out on the baseball field here.
Like what you did there is Hinks flares this one inner center field. Coming on is Nicholas Capozzi, goes into a slide, and he drops the ball as Connor Hinks just dunks it down into center field and will be on with a leadoff single.
Batting for the Tom Sox. From Virginia, the first baseman.
Yeah, Hinks there, just able to drop it in. Not always going to be able to blow it past him, but, charging in, that's a difficult play to make. Finds a hole there.
Capozzi ran a long way for that ball. Now retreats back to deep center field as the power-hitting Henry Ford waves through the first pitch from Moore. Ford has yet to record an official at-bat, has walked twice on the ballgame. The 0-1 pitch in there for strike two.
Ford with a little bit of horsepower, you might say.
Telling you, the puns just keep on coming. Moore steps off, attempts a pickoff move to keep an eye on Hanks over there at first base. Connor with 4 stolen bases on the season. Charlottesville recently set the team record for stolen bases in a season. The 0-2 pitch to Ford. This one popped up. Giving it a look is the first baseman, Carter Ruff. He runs out of room as that ball bounces in foul territory.
Yeah, interestingly for Moore, if he's able to finish off this at-bat and record an out here, he will have matched his season total innings pitched at 4 1/3 here. So he's been going far longer than I had perhaps anticipated after looking at his stats this season. And he's worked through some traffic, some trouble, but he's done an admirable job, and definitely going to reflect on the stat sheet, bring some of his averages down, get him looking a little bit more natural there.
Moore came into today with a 4.32 ERA, this being just his second start this summer as Ford fights off a tough pitch. Hanks leads off first. 1-2 is the count here. No outs in the inning. As Ford laces this one into the left center field gap, Hanks takes the turn around second base. He will head into third. Henry Ford runs into second base with a no-out double, and the Sox have 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that's all. That's a number of things from Henry Ford. Just a massively impressive piece of hitting there. You see the speed of the hands. That ball is way up there. That's a pitch that I've been saying that Moore has had success with, that elevated fastball with a little bit of cheddar on it. Ford able to just go up there and get that ball. Reaction time, everything clicking there for the Tom Sox.
It's the 7th double on the season for the incoming freshman at UVA. Now that brings up Brady Gumpf with the infield in, squares around a bunt, brings the bat back, but Moore drops in a first pitch breaking ball for strike number 1.
Yeah, and at this point in the season, as the familiarity with the Tom Sox playing style grows, should come as no surprise that a bunt was squared there, and it's squared again here.
Camp and Ruff move in on the corners. It's fielded by the third baseman, Drew Camp, who makes the throw in time to nab Gumpf at first base. But coming in to score is Connor Hanks, and this ball game is knotted up at 4.
And that's a great bunt from Gumpf there. It shows the soft hands as he's able to kind of just catch that ball at the plate, absorb it, and place it. Absolutely no roll there. Just a soft little pop, and it dies kind of in no man's land. They're able to make the play, of course, get the out at first. But that's a valuable one for the Tom Sox here.
Moving up to third is Henry Ford. The corners remain in, and now Alexander squares around a bunt, pulls the bat back as Moore misses for ball 1.
Yeah, I guess if it ain't break, excuse me, pardon me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as Lyndon Coleman just leaning on what's worked here so far for these Tom Sox. You've seen the long ball, you've seen the small ball, doing it all here.
Alexander swinging away here as he comes up with nothing but air as the count is even at 1-1. Calvin on the day 0 for 2, struck out looking to end the first inning, flew out to begin the 4th.
Yeah, and that was a deep drive out there on that flyout. And on that big cut there, you heard multiple exclamations from the Tom Sox dugout, knowing what would have happened had that bat had made contact there.
Moore bounces the 1-1 pitch in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Mosley. Alexander, with 3 home runs this season, has a lot of pop in that right-hand bat. The 2-1 pitch, Alexander lays down a bunt, pushes it down the first base line. That ball goes foul as it's touched up by the first baseman, Carter Ruff.
Yeah, and now with 2 strikes. expect to be seeing Alexander here swinging. Can't rule anything out, really, but
KJ had yet to lay down a successful sacrifice on the season. But the third baseman, Drew Camp, remains in on the grass. The 2-2 pitch to Alexander as he pops this one up near the away dugout, and that one gets out of play.
yeah, KJ gets his money's worth on all of these. You never see him hit a soft little bloop. If he's popping it up, it's going a mile high.
Alexander struggling coming into today, 1 for his last 13 with a grand slam. 2-2 is the count with 1 out in the inning. Mora goes with the off-speed pitch, gets Alexander to chase for the second out of the inning, and Henry Ford remains just 90 feet away.
For your Tom Sox center fielder, number 1, Garrett Spikes.
It's the second punch-out of the day for Mora. Both have come against Alexander. Now it's Garrett Spikes who's popped up twice. Spikes' first pitch swinging, laces that down the first base line, and the new first base coach, Sergio Rivera, will pick up that foul ball.
Spikes has such an interesting stance to me, the Georgia product. It looks like he's standing straight up and down there, absolutely no bend in those knees up until that ball's on its way with a big, rock step.
The 0-1 to Spikes. He puts a charge into this one. Going back is the right fielder, Brody Black, who catches it and retires Spikes for the third out of the inning. Charlottesville knots this game up at 4, and we head to the top of the 6th with the game even at 4 apiece. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV.
Samuel Barber.
9-1-2 for Front Royal here to begin the top of the 6th. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Jacob Tisdale and Samuel Barber, the left fielder, leading things off here. Barber 1 for 2 on the game with a 2 RBI single back in the second inning as he is facing Lucas Cash for the first time. Cash begins the at-bat with a first pitch ball. The 1-0 misses downstairs for ball 2.
Yeah, that's a tough miss on that outside corner. Well-located pitch. Interesting. Good discipline by Barber there to not bite.
Barber was the first out in a 2-run 4th inning for Front Royal. So score is even at 4 here in the top of the 6th.
Looks like I was correct. Samuel Barber, a product of the Dirtbag system. He's a Shenandoah commit, so he'll be entering his first season for Shenandoah. But wearing the Dirtbags helmet there takes me back to a lot of my younger years playing baseball across Virginia.
2-2 is the count to Barber here. Got him swinging. Lucas Cash sits down Samuel Barber for his first strikeout of the contest.
Yeah, some would call that about 1K in cash delivered to CHO Airport Field here.
Really full of the jokes and the puns today. I like it.
I don't know, man. Last home game, got to get them all out. Pardon
Now
me,
we
last
had
regular season home game, that is.
We head back to the top of the Front Royal lineup with Nicholas Capozzi swinging through the first offering from Cash. Capozzi 0 for 2 on the day. 2 flyouts to center field, walked back in the 4th inning. Cash, a fastball right in on the hands, grounded down the third base line and fielded by a Cardinal out of the dugout.
Yeah, and with 2 strikes here, everybody knows the only thing better than 1K in cash is 2K.
Capozzi struck out 42 times in 31 games as this one grounded toward the third baseman Connor Hinks, who backs up a step, makes the long throw over to first base in time to set down Capozzi for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that's great work from Hinks there. On those judgment call balls where you have to decide whether you're going to charge in, sit back, he makes a wise decision to sit back, play the bounce, and make an excellent throw over to first base there. And that'll be 2 down now.
Now it's the 2-hole hitter and second baseman Hayden Harris as Cash starts him out with a first pitch strike. Cash has been super impressive, back-to-back days throwing, and really hasn't skipped a beat in either performance as he bounces this one in the dirt, gloved by the catcher, Alexander.
What's difficult for Cash here is that on any of these halfway swings, it would be no check. Just Cash.
The 1-1 pitch. This one flied into center field. Going back to the track is the center fielder Garrett Spikes, who makes the run and grab for the third out of the inning. Score remains tied at 4-4 here at CHO Airport Field as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Stay tuned for more here on Tom Sox TV. The playoff race is heating up near the end of the VBL regular season as the Charlottesville Tom Sox enter today atop the VBL with a 26-14 record. And as of play starting today, Front Royal enters the contest in 8th place, that final spot. They have yet to clinch. They have a record of 20-22, but this game here at CHO Airport Field knotted at 4 apiece. And Gabriel Moore's day is done as Front Royal heads to its bullpen for the first time today, bring on the lefty Ethan Adkison.
Yeah, Atkinson, a little bit more to work with here. He's got 10 appearances, 13 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 21 walks. Command been a bit of an issue in those appearances. Got an 8.30 ERA and 1 loss on the season so far. Something of note, in his previous 4 outings, he's given up runs while he was a little bit more steady before. So he's been on a bit of a slide here. We'll see what he's going to bring to the table here against the Tom Sox.
Atkinson faces the top of this Tom Sox lineup. Leading things off is the shortstop, Kyle Edwards, who watches the first pitch miss for ball number 1. Edwards, yesterday in the doubleheader, a rare 1 for 8, is 1 for 3 in today's contest. Flew out in the first and second innings and singled in the fourth, and later came around to score.
Atkinson, actually, with some Tom Sox experience, he faced all of 1 batter back on June 11th, in which the Front Royal Cardinals took home a 9-6 victory over the Tom Sox.
1-1 pitch to Edwards gets him to wave through. Now the count moves to 1-2. It's the fourth and final matchup between these two teams. Charlottesville up in the series, having the 2-1 advantage. The 1-2 pitch from Atkinson to Edwards bounces low and in the dirt.
Yeah, and I want to thank our good friends, Jack Kinzikowski, the whole analytics team, David Argo sending over a ton of playoff material for us. If you haven't, check out David Argo's Twitter for the full updated live kind of playoff picture for the Valley Baseball League here. Something I'm noticing on the materials he sent for us, Front Royal sitting at that 8th spot. They have 2 games left and their magic numbers too as well. So, these 2 games here, including the one that they're currently engaged in, they mean a lot to this team. They're going to kind of determine, and as you look at the playoff picture shaping up here with Charlottesville in the 1 seed and Front Royal at the 8th seed, there is always the potential that this could be a rematch down the line.
What also means tomorrow is a even bigger doubleheader as Charlottesville travels out to Percival as they sit at the 9 spot with a 18-22 record. But Kyle Edwards begins the bottom of the 6th with a leadoff walk. Martinez squares around a bunt, pulls the bat back as Atkinson can't find the strike zone.
Yeah, and someone look at Charlottesville's schedule to close out. No one, I think, could argue that the scheduling of it in terms of sheer amount of games played is easy. But you see these teams down at the bottom of the standings, and you may think it's a little bit softer, but these teams are playing for everything they've got here. These games matter a lot more to them, these fringe teams looking for a way in. And so they're going to be selling out and making sure they give it everything they've got in one last final push here.
The 2-0 from Atkinson to Martinez. Bryce swinging all the way, pops this one straight up on the infield. Getting underneath it is the second baseman, Hayden Harris, who puts it away for the first out of the inning.
Designated hitter from UVA, Aiden Teal.
Now that brings up the hottest hitter in Charlottesville's lineup, Aiden Teal. Teal 1 for 1 today, hit a 2-run home run back in inning number 1, walked in the 3rd and in the 4th. His 4th plate appearance here comes with Kyle Edwards standing on first base. Atkinson gets Teal to wave through a breaking ball to begin the at-bat.
You mentioned the hot hand, man. Out of this 3-hole at the DH spot, he's been everything the Tom Sox could ask for. And, Tom Sox's favorite color is teal right now.
Next offering from Atkinson misses for a ball. The count is even at 1-1. Teal entered today hitting .264. Clobbered his 2nd home run, now up to 11 RBIs. As Edwards takes off on the pitch, that one runs in tight, nearly drills Teal, but Kyle Edwards swipes second base, and Charlottesville has a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, this game knotted up, feeling like it's flying by, but really heading into the home stretch, into the bottom of the 6th here, a runner in scoring position, just 1 out with the heart of the lineup. It's a position that the Tom Sox are really going to be comfortable in here.
Edwards stolen base number 22 as this pitch gets behind the catcher Mosley, and Edwards moves up to third base and now is just 90 feet away from giving the Tom Sox a 5-4 lead.
Yeah, Kyle didn't swipe that base to second. He swiped it at the perfect time, it seems, with the pass ball, easily allowing him to advance to third here. Now all it takes is a sacrifice fly here. Not sure that the squeeze would be in order here with Teal riding the hot hand, but
the third baseman camp in on the grass. Teal hits this one inner center field. Getting underneath it is the center fielder Nicholas Capozzi. Edwards tags. Capozzi's throw comes in, is up the third base line, and Aiden Teal delivers once again, knocking a sac fly and giving the Tom Sox a 5-4 lead.
Yeah, doing exactly what he needed to there. And again, all credit to Kyle Edwards for an excellent job along the base pass there. Swiping second, advancing to third on the wild pitch. And then that puts you in perfect position to come around and give the Tom Sox the lead again here.
Edwards led off the bottom of the 6th with a walk, stole second, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and came home on the Aiden Teal sacrifice fly. That's now 3 RBIs for Teal on the day and brings up the cleanup hitter, Nathan Fink. Fink 1 for 3 today, singled in the first inning, flew out to left in the third, and flew out to right in the fourth. 1-0 from Atkinson. This one lined and snared by the third baseman, Drew Camp. A leaping grab over there at the hot corner to put away Fink for the 3rd out of the inning. But Charlottesville takes the lead on a sacrifice fly by Aiden Teal, scoring Kyle Edwards. We head to the final 3 innings here at CHO Airport Field with the Sox leading 5-4. Lucas Cash out for his new, or soon-to-be new Tom Sox career high in innings pitched, out for his 3rd inning of work and beginning the at-bat against Cameron Douglas with a first pitch ball. Douglas 1 for 3 on the afternoon, struck out swinging to end the first. Pop up to Henry Ford in the third as this one grounded toward the third baseman Connor Hanks making the throw over to Henry Ford over there at first base for the 1st out of the inning.
Yeah, Cash now with his longest inning, his longest outing so far. Coach Lyndon Coleman, glad to have Cash on hand. Have some left over from the night before is always a good feeling to wake up. Know you got a little bit extra cash on you.
Mosley skies this one into left field. Circling underneath it is Brady Gumpf, who puts it away for the second out of the inning, and Lucas Cash continues to cruise through the Front Royal lineup.
My press box compatriots have turned to ignoring me, so I'll ask you to do the same as well.
Cash is really and truly an amazing thing. So
never have too much of it.
Taylor Schultz is up now with 2 outs in the inning. The shortstop pops this one down the first base line and in foul territory. Cash has allowed just 1 base runner, that coming back in the 5th inning. Carter Ruff hit a 2-out single as Cash spikes this pitch past Calvin Alexander, evening the count at 1-1. Sergio Rivera, enjoying the day off, picks up that loose ball, brings it back to the dugout. The 1-1 pitch, this one grounded over to Connor Hinks at the hot corner, making the throw over to Henry Ford at first base in time to retire Schultz for the 3rd and final out of the inning. We head to the bottom half of the 7th with the Tom Sox leading 5-4. Andres Camargo, the new arm for Front Royal, to begin at the bottom of the 7th. And Jake, what do you have for us on the new pitcher?
Camargo, a righty, hailing from Tampa, Florida, plays for East Georgia College during the academic year in the Valley Baseball League for the Front Royal Cardinals. He's currently got a record of 1-2 in 9 appearances, has a 3.0 ERA, 1 save, 21 innings pitched. In those 21 innings, he's got 22 strikeouts, 14 walks, 17 hits. With his most recent outing, he went 2 innings, giving up 3 earned, 6 hits, and 1 walk, 2 strikeouts in that outing.
Camargo will have to go through the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Tom Sox lineup, that being Connor Hinks, Henry Ford, and Brady Gumpf.
Yeah, Hinks stepping in. I believe he's 1 for 3 on the day, single in his last at-bat. Looking to continue that momentum on here.
Hinks came around to score the RBI from Brady Gumpf, his Notre Dame teammate. But it's the lefty third baseman due up for his 4th at-bat. Camargo begins the AB as Hinks grounds it down the first base line. A nice glove over there by the first base coach, Trey Smith. Throwing out the one hand, making the barehanded snag. Camargo kicks and deals the 0-1 breaking ball.
Yeah, that one had a lot of movement on it. Ultimately wasn't able to break over the plate, but interesting to get a look at this guy's stuff here.
This one lined right to the second baseman, Hayden Harris, who plays it on a bounce and makes the short throw over to Carter Ruff at first base to retire Hinks for the first out of the inning.
Charlottesville Tom Sox looking like they need to be visiting a tailor here. These guys get dirty all across the base paths here, getting down, diving, all that. Seen a number of holes in these guys' pants, guys. Clean it up. Let's get a patch on that or something.
Now it's Henry Ford due up. Ford has reached base all 3 times as he pops this one straight up down the third base line and foul.
Ford just underneath that one. Definitely looking to continue to put charges into baseballs as he has. Really putting together a nice little hot streak here.
Ford has absolutely mashed over these past few games as Camargo's 1-1 breaking ball doesn't break too much as that one misses high to Henry Ford. The 2-1 pitch, this one grooved into left field. Giving it a look is the left fielder, Samuel Barber, and this one's gone. Henry Ford hits it on an absolute line, and he crushes that to deep left field, and Henry Ford goes yard in back-to-back days as the Tom Sox take a 6-4 lead here in the bottom of the 7th.
Ford just continues to drive himself home here, just taking that ball on an absolute ride, just taking it, spinning it around the block, really. Ford just doing it all out there. Talked about the hot streak extending, and, of course, there it does. Hopefully he does not overheat, as my car has recently done. Found its way in the shop here.
Would it not be good if Henry Ford cooled down, because this guy is on an absolute tear. His 3rd home run this season, doubled in his last at-bat, an extra base hit machine as now Brady Gumpf hits this one on the ground toward the shortstop Taylor Schultz, who makes the throw in time to retire Gumpf for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, and coming out of that injury, a little bit of a slump for him after the hot start, but, he just got his battery jump-started, and he's right back to it.
Now it's the catcher, Calvin Alexander, who's been quiet today. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, one looking, one swinging, as Camargo begins the at-bat against Alexander with a first pitch breaking ball in there for strike number 1.
Yeah, Alexander a little bit unhappy with that call. That ball breaks down into the top of the zone there.
Camargo's 0-1 pitch, spiked in the dirt, count now even at 1-1.
KJ 0 for 3 on the day.
Alexander puts a ride into this one right at the left fielder, Samuel Barber, who tucks it away for the 3rd out of the inning. But Charlottesville tacks on another insurance run after Henry Ford goes yard for the 2nd time in as many days, and the Tom Sox now have a 6-4 lead entering the 8th inning. Stay tuned for more right here on Tom Sox TV. Lucas Cash out for inning number 4 here at CHO Airport Field, facing off against the third baseman, Drew Camp, who's been equally as impressive, 2 for 3 on the day.
Camp also making some impressive defensive plays over there at third base, battling through the sun. But for Cash, coming out for his 4th inning, looking like a real good return on investment for Lyndon Coleman out there.
You were continuing to love these puns as the 2-0 pitch from Cash misses in the dirt, and Drew Camp works the count to 3-0 to begin the top of the 8th.
Cash's longevity here is just continuing renewable cash flow.
Drew Camp reaches for the 3rd time today as he draws a walk to begin the inning. It's the first batter to reach base against Cash since Carter Ruff back in the 5th inning. See, it tallied a 2-out single, and now here is Ruff. First pitch to him misses just off the plate for ball number 1.
Ruff with a walk on the afternoon as well.
1 for 2 is the first baseman. Also singled and struck out as he grounds this down the third base line. Touched up by the third base coach, and the count now is even at 1-1.
See the runner on first base taking his time to get back to the bag there.
Camp with some speed off first base has 9 stolen bases as this one lined right back at us, but into the fence behind home plate.
Yeah, gotten a little bit more used to that. Only slightly jumped there as that one lined on a direct course for one of our faces, were it not for the backstop there.
Ruff looking to avoid being punched out for a 2nd time as Camp takes off on the pitch. This one gets behind Alexander and out of play. And Drew Camp moves up to second base.
That's just an absolutely unique pitch. Never seen anything like that, really. The angle of the breaking ball there, it drops and sneaks through the backstop right at the bottom. The fence gives way for the ground right at the end there, and he found perhaps the one hole in the entire thing as young fan gets a souvenir perhaps, unless he returns it for a prize.
So Drew Camp moves up into scoring position as the next offering from Cash bounces in the dirt, and the count is full here. With no outs in the inning, Charlottesville still leads 6-4 in the final regular season game here at CHO Airport Field, as Ruff hits this one high and deep toward the left field foul line, and that bounces in the parking lot and gloved down by a young fan.
My concern there with Ruff taking off, once he reached second with that ball passing through, I thought the ball entering dead territory might advance him to third there. Ultimately did not end up being the call.
The full count pitch, this one hit into right field, also foul. Nice battle brewing here between Cash and Ruff.
Yeah, real back and forth here. Will mean a lot to Cash here to get out of this here.
Camp leads off second. Cash checks him. Now deals his 3-2 offering, runs high and in tight for ball 4. And 2 walks issued by Lucas Cash begins the Front Royal rally here in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, and you see the idea there. You want to challenge him up and inside. Ultimately gets away from him a little too elevated there as Coleman takes a stroll out to the mound. Would not be surprised if this is the end of the day for Cash.
No one is warming up for
perhaps.
Charlottesville in the bullpen. Cash did throw yesterday, pitched 2 innings in the doubleheader sweep over Woodstock. Now is in his 4th inning of work and is running into some trouble. Allowed just 1 base runner in his first 3 innings today, but now back-to-back walks has Front Royal in striking position.
Cash remains on the mound for now. As we hear KJ Alexander behind the plate quickly request a Gatorade.
So now it brings up the right fielder Brody Black with runners on first and second and no outs in the inning. Black 1 for 2 with a single and a pop-up to Kyle Edwards at short, and Lucas Cash begins his 4th at-bat with a first pitch strike.
Yeah. With KJ there, I'm sure it's just an absolutely grueling environment behind the plate. All that equipment on as he takes one right off the face. Maybe he'll get a much-deserved break for a second here as he shakes that off.
Alexander did not play in either game of the doubleheader. Yesterday, Salvia Alvarez got the start in Game 1. Jacob Ferentz behind the dish in Game 2 as Lyndon Coleman continues to cycle through his catchers. But now that brings the count to 0-2 here against Black.
Arguably the toughest draw out of that 3-man catcher rotation as he gets the 1 p.m. start time, mid-afternoon heat.
This one bounced to Edwards at short, over to Martinez at second. His throw not in time to catch Black at first base, but Charlottesville still gets the out at second base, but now Front Royals has runners on the corners with 1 out in the inning.
See that ball take an extra high hop there, catches Edwards off guard. I thought he fielded it still cleanly, got it to second. Interesting call over there on first base. It looked like a textbook turn double play, but the infield umpire disagrees.
Now it brings up runners on the corners here for Samuel Barber. As this one grounded back to Edwards at short. He goes to first base to retire Barber, but coming in to score is Drew Kemp. And now Front Royal makes it just a 6-5 ball game here with 2 outs in the 8th.
That is a big Front Royal run there, as now a runner is on second as well. And, just a base hit through the gap here could bring around the tying run. However, Cash looking to complete yet another inning of work here.
It's the 3rd RBI of the ball game for Samuel Barber. Got Front Royal on the board in the top of the 2nd with a 2 RBI single. Now picks up his 3rd on the sacrifice. Now that brings up the top of the Cardinal order in Nicholas Capozzi with the count even at 1-1. Capozzi 0 for 3 reached base back in the 4th inning, drawing a walk. 2 flyouts to Garrett Spikes out in center field and a ground ball to Connor Hinks at 3rd. 1-1 offering from Cash. Misses inside, with the count now moving to 2-1.
Capozzi with 9 walks on the season, 5 hit by pitches, reminding me of our own Derek Williams, who was a bit of a pitch magnet, it seemed.
Capozzi skies this one out of play, gets into the stands, now evens the count at 2-2. Derek not here with the Tom Sox currently, just recently committed to Wichita State.
Yeah, of course, congratulations to him when he was with us. The power that this offense really had flowed through him. He was a key contributor there.
The 2-2 pitch to Capozzi misses high for ball 3. Black leads off second. The full count offering here to Capozzi. Swing and a miss. He got him. Lucas Cash strands Brody Black on second base, and Charlottesville still keeps its 6-5 lead heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. We have more baseball here at CHO Airport Field. Don't go anywhere. This is Tom Sox Baseball right here on Tom Sox TV. Just a one-run ball game here at CHO Airport Field. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Jacob Tisdale as the Tom Sox still have their 6-5 lead as Garrett Spikes set to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Yeah, it's been a tight one so far. Back and forth baseball. Each team chipping in, keeping it close, making for an exciting finish and a game with playoff implications as most of the games for the remainder of the Valley Baseball League schedule are loaded with at this point.
Charlottesville, after this game, just 2 games left. Both will be played tomorrow on the road in Percival. Percival fighting for that last spot in the VBL playoffs, with the top 8 teams making it as Spikes grounds this. Here at the Tom Sox dugout. Count now moves to 1-2. Spikes 0 for 3 on the day, 2 pop-ups to Drew Kemp over there at third base and a fly out to Brody Black out in right. The 1-2 from Andres Camargo, chopped and dribbled foul.
Of course, Percival, tomorrow's opponent, getting ready for to play 2, as it were, against Covington today, as their doubleheader is set to begin in just under an hour.
A lot of baseball being played by all these VBL teams as Camargo's breaking ball doesn't nab the outside corner and Spikes is still up with the count now even at 2-2.
Yeah, while this playoff picture looks as it does right now, expect a ton of change as there's games coming for nearly all the teams here as Spikes and the ump get in a little friendly discussion over that at-bat.
Garrett strikes out against Andres Camargo, has a couple of words for the home plate umpire, but Spikes goes back to the dugout, and now that brings up Kyle Edwards. Edwards and Spikes, best friends, been in Charlottesville for 2 summers as Kyle takes this one off the left shoulder and will take the painful stroll down to first base after the hit by pitch.
Edwards was 0 for 2 to start this game in the first 2 innings. Since then, he's earned a double, walked, and has now just worn that one off the shoulder to get on base again.
Now that brings up the second baseman, Bryce Martinez. Bryce today, 2 for 4. A pair of singles also came around to score back on the 2-run home run by Aiden Teal. As Kyle running, the pitch had yet to be thrown by Camargo, gets in a rundown and is tagged out by the second baseman, Hayden Harris. Kyle Edwards just too aggressive there and gets tagged out for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, we've seen it benefit us earlier in this game even, Kyle's base running. The aggression is always there. That time backfires as the pitcher easily steps off, delivers the throw to second.
So it's a clean slate for Andres Camargo here as Bryce Martinez, first pitch swinging, lines that right back into the fence behind home plate.
Yeah, sometimes you can see the rationale. You want to have that runner on second, guarantee that a base hit, basically guarantee that a base hit will bring another insurance run around. However, you are right at the top of your lineup here. You've got Martinez, you've got Teal, who's been red hot coming up to the plate after. Now Martinez up with 2 outs, no runners on base. Difficult situation to swallow.
We've seen small ball work for the Sox earlier this game as the 0-2 pitch from Camargo bounces, hits the grass before home plate for the first ball of the at-bat.
Yeah, that one just stuck to the hands a bit too long. Couldn't quite see the grip. Maybe looked like a changeup perhaps. I'm no stranger to that with the difficult grip of the changeup. Just spiking one there.
Camargo out of the windup gets Bryce Martinez fishing to end the 8th inning. Charlottesville enters the top of the 9th with a 6-5 lead and looking to close it out in their home regular season finale. Stay tuned for an exciting finish here at CHO Airport Field. 2-3-4 for Front Royal here in the top of the ninth as Lucas Cash back out for his 5th inning of work. He tossed 2 innings in yesterday's 9-3 victory over the River Bandits in a doubleheader sweep for Charlottesville, and he's looking to close out a 6-5 victory in the final regular season game here at CHO Airport Field as Hayden Harris skies this one. Going back to the edge of the infield grass is the shortstop, Kyle Edwards, who puts it away for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Cash really just continuing to dominate out there. Last inning gave up his first run of his appearance, his first run across both games, both yesterday and today now. His arm is looking evergreen, some might say.
Now we'll get a pinch hitter here. It's Brady Popple taking in. Popple, first pitch swinging, pops this one straight up. Getting underneath it is the third baseman, Connor Hinks, who gloves it down for the second out of the inning, and Front Royal is down to its last out.
And if you're Cash out there, there's got to be some level of fatigue. He's not showing it whatsoever, but what he's doing right now is exactly what he needs, working quickly through batters, getting quick contact outs, and now we're 1 away from a Tom Sox victory.
And it's Robert Mosley here digging in what could be the final at-bat for Front Royal in today's contest. The first offering from Cash misses high for ball number 1. Cash out of the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. Just misses inside for ball 2. Home plate umpire getting jeered by the lively crowd here at CHO Airport Field. The 2-0 to Mosley. That one misses downstairs, and the count moves to 3-0.
Difficult on a weekday to, especially a weekday afternoon, to pull a crowd like this in. But the ones that showed up, they're active, they're rowdy, they're ready to see a victory.
The 3-0 chopped on the ground to the first baseman, Henry Ford, who will flip it to Lucas Cash. And Charlottesville captures a 6-5 victory to close out its home regular season series in style.
Yeah, I mean, what a tight victory. I mean, back and forth game the whole way through. Ultimately, Tom Sox do what they need to do to get the win there. And personally, I'm just in awe of the outing by Lucas Cash there as the teams exchange pleasantries out on the field. Now tossing the football. Surely not any animosity there.
Charlottesville with the win. It now improves to 27-14, and they stay atop the VBL standings. Charlottesville concludes its regular season tomorrow as they play a doubleheader against the Percival Cannons. But Jake, before we bounce out of here, let's just talk more about today's game. And the offense got started early with a 2-run shot by Aiden Teal.
Yeah, Aiden Teal, one of 2 UVA contributors today alongside Henry Ford, who have just kind of caught fire. They've really been lighting up the scoreboard so far, and Teal, with that no-doubter in the first inning, set the tone for the Tom Sox offense, taking it way over the right field wall. And, if you're the Tom Sox, there's nothing that makes you happier than seeing one of those.
Charlottesville also added another home run from Henry Ford back in the 7th inning. That proved to be the game-winning run. But we have to talk about Lucas Cash. Pitched yesterday, 2 shutout innings in that game. Came on and worked his tail off, pitching 5 innings today. Really impressive stuff from the right-hander.
Yeah, just 1 run coming across for him in 2 days, 7 innings total work there. Like I said, if you're a reliever, if you go out there and the stat sheet is a little bit quiet, then you're doing your job. You're shutting down the opposing team. You're making sure that your team is in the position to win. With this potent offense the Tom Sox have, if you can have relievers like Cash, who hasn't contributed as much. This is just his 2nd and now 3rd appearance for the Tom Sox. If you can have these guys come up out of the bullpen, give you reliable and consistent innings down the stretch, then even into the playoffs, then you really have to like the chances for this Charlottesville Tom Sox team here.
It's 3 straight wins for the Tom Sox here as they play their final 2 games tomorrow on the road in Percival. But that'll do it for all of our coverage here at CHO Airport Field. For my broadcast partner, Jacob Tisdale, I'm Alex Rocco. Thank you so much for spending part of your Tuesday afternoon with us. And the Charlottesville Tom Sox are 6-5 victors over the Front Royal Cardinals. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Sox kid.